KMOX News.
Brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we perform an 18-point maintenance check with every oil change to help make sure you're good to go.
And?
You're good to go. We'd let you know if we found something in our check. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Thorough and honest, come with no charge.
This is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Yes, it is. And Bernie Miklas is with us on a Tuesday with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. Our producers are Matt Pajeski and Frank Ladd. Today is the 40th anniversary of Ozzie Smith's home run in Game 5 of the 1985 NLCS, the Go Crazy Folks home run. I had a chance a little earlier to speak with Ozzie. We were going to hear that. I actually played, Bernie, for him something he hadn't heard, I don't think, and that is the entire at-bat called by Jack Buck and Mike Shannon. And then we chat, you'll hear this, we chat for a little bit, and then I play the aftermath. So Jack lets the crowd go for a good 90 seconds. And then he comes back and describes what he saw, and Ozzie comes out for a salute, a curtain call. It's awesome. Look at that. He's got the wizard hat.
Oh, wow.
In his honor.
Yeah.
In his honor.
It's really neat. So it's just, one of those special days. It really is hard to believe it was 40 years ago. I
had a message on the Chris and Amy show because we were talking about it, and the guy said, no, that wasn't 40. That was 5. That was 5 years ago. That did not happen 40 years ago.
That was my team. I was 10 years old, Bernie. I was into that team. 82, I remember. I went with my dad to Game 6, the rain delay game. But 85 was my team from start to finish. That was the team that really I fell in love with and became a Cardinals fan. 85, you were just getting going here in St. Louis, weren't you?
Yeah, I was hired in the spring of 1985, and I was before I was assigned to cover the football Cardinals. But before that, I helped out Rick Hummel writing sidebars and things like that. And real quick, I had a really cool, unique experience. So I watched that game with Bill Bidwill in his suite at Busch Stadium. He came up to me. I was writing a story, and he said, "Hey, you want to watch the ball game? Come on, let's go." And I said, "Sure." So I'm sitting there in the football Cardinals box and watching it with Bidwill, and he was very animated, very exciting, and had a great view of that home run. And the response, the outburst, the outbreak, the spontaneous emotion and joy and people going bananas. I was almost like taken aback because it was like nothing I had ever seen in a ballpark, and it was a great memory. And what a great, great home run, not only in Cardinals history, but baseball history. And so improbable, as I'm sure you have talked about with Ozzie.
And I love that thought, Tom, that Jack Buck thought he blew the call, that he didn't give a great call, and it turned out to be one of the really, truly amazing, iconic baseball calls in history. And it's not just Cardinals history. That I think a lot of people, a lot of true baseball fans from around the country have probably heard "Go Crazy, Folks."
And those are some of the best calls, Bernie, is when they're spontaneous like that. And he did. Right. He turned to Colin Jarrett, his engineer, and he said, "Why did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I said that." Yeah. What? And then it turns out to be the iconic call of his career.
I can't tell you how many times in columns that I've written, and we're talking thousands of columns, where I've used that phrase, like whether it be the Cardinals or on a winning streak or something big happened, or the greatest show on turf, Rams had some huge victory with all these touchdowns. I would just drop in a line, "Go crazy, folks, go crazy." Because it's sort of like a touchstone phrase that applies to any kind of greatness or excitement in St. Louis sports. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's okay. Go for it. I love that. It's universal in St. Louis. I love that.
Yeah, it's just a tremendous moment. And even though that team fell short, I mean, we all remember what that felt like, what that was like. And for those who don't and weren't alive at that time, it's great to teach them. It is hard to believe, though, that it was 40 years ago. Bernie, I wanted to get your thoughts right away on Mike Shildt. I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this. Schulte called it a career really on Saturdays when he told the team, and then he waited until Monday where it was released through Kevin Acee of the San Diego Union Tribune. He actually wrote a letter to the fans through Kevin and described the toll that it's taken on him physically and mentally, and said, "I just think it's time to step away. He'd been thinking about it for a while. Your thoughts on all of that? The 57-year-old Mike Schilt.
Well, Mike Schilt always wears it. He wears it hard. He suffers, when his team comes up short. I mean, no one kicks himself or blames himself more than Mike Schilt. He doesn't handle failure easily, and not that he should, but it's to the point where he gets pretty extreme in his emotions, and he's had a lot of blowups. And I don't blame him for being drained and recognizing that he's drained. I mean, I remember Dick Vermeil in 1983, I think it was, the young Philadelphia Eagles head coach just said, "I can't do this anymore. The job has eaten me up. I just can't cope with it." So we've seen this before, and I don't doubt that Mike Schilt feels burned out. However, I got to say, it still raises questions. Ken Rosenthal has raised questions about whether this was an idea. This was more of a situation where Schilt thought he was going to be sacked again and just said, "No, this time I'm going out on my own terms." Dennis Lin, who does a great job of covering the Padres for the Athletic, said the same thing. And a lot of talk in San Diego that, AJ Preller and Schilt were banging heads. And I hate to say it, but it sounds exactly like
Similar.
What happened in St. Louis, except this time Schilt said no. Now I'm speculating. Schilt's like, no one's going to fire me. If this is it, I'm leaving on my terms. Because it was pretty dramatic the way he sent this long letter in and everything else. So listen, if he's an excellent manager, but I just do wonder, when his second chance job after getting fired by the Cardinals lasted 2 years, and it kind of imploded again on him, no matter what reason he gives. If you're another organization, do you look at Mike Schilt and say, "Boy, he's a good manager, but what's up with this guy?" I'm just being straight. People can hate me for saying that, but I'd actually be disrespecting our listeners if I didn't say exactly what I thought based on some of the stuff that I've come on to with this stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, and it does kind of feel that way, that maybe this is a 2.0 of what happened here. Maybe not exactly the same, but clearly some sort of conflict, at least, if you look at the reporting or what you might be hearing at this moment, that maybe he just doesn't jive well with front offices. It doesn't mean that his way is the wrong way. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the right way either. But if this has now happened, again, we don't know for sure if that's what this is or if this went into it. But if it's a thing where he just he can't adapt or doesn't want to go along with the way baseball front offices tend to operate these days, then maybe it's just not for him. It could be that.
The era of the all-powerful manager is over.
Yep.
It's over. I'm not sure why so many people fail to understand this. Managers don't dictate to their bosses about how things are managers don't get to say, "I'm in charge and you're going to listen to me." And anybody who thinks that's how it works, I mean, I feel sorry for them. They're completely out of touch with the modern game. The last manager who was the all-powerful, because he deserved it, presence in the organization was Tony La Russa. That was it. Because even when Bruce Bochy came out of retirement, he worked closely with the front office in Texas. He went along with all of the things they recommended in terms of matchups and all this other thing. He was not the all-powerful manager in Texas, but he was a hell of a manager. I think Schiltz had a hard problem with that. And I'm really not sure why, because he was always an organizational man. And I mean that as a compliment. Like we all work together. The George Kissel, all that. We all teach and work together. But like in St. Louis, I mean, there's no mystery to me why he got fired. I mean, I've written about it, talked about it. If people want to ignore it, that's fine. One day he kind of woke up and decided that he was calling the shots. It doesn't work that way.
And
sorry.
And Bernie, you know what? That might be, see, when we talk about, how much fans here clamor for Albert or Yachty to be the manager of the team. And it almost doesn't matter which one. It's just they love those guys so much. They want them to be in charge. I think this is a good learning moment hopefully for fans, that they understand that the job of the manager is much more than making the lineup card and much more than, utilizing the bullpen, knowing when to use guys and when not to, that a lot of it is your relationship with the front office. Right. And how that works. And then, of course, dealing with the media on top of that. A lot of the manager's job is not field stuff. And so this is I hope people get it if it does come out that, maybe Mike Schilt just couldn't work well with the Padres organization, with the front office there, that, maybe the job of the manager is not exactly what they think it is.
Well, let me say this now, that maybe both things are true, that he did not jive well with what was going on there and is ready to move on. And he was dealing with some health issues, and he was dealing with things personally in his life that just he needed to take a break from baseball. Like that, it's all true. He walked away. He walked away from 2 years on his contract. I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of change there. So I think, and I've been asked that by a lot of people, like, is this right? Like, he just walked away from it? Like, how is that possible? Well, it's possible in that, first of all, I have to take him at his word. That went to Kevin and to Dennis Lynn, and he told him, there's going to be speculation. I'm just tired and want to go home, dude. He said, I'm super at peace with it, is what he told Dennis. And that sounds like Mike. But there could also be that going on, that, I will always wonder that behind the scenes, he said, I'm just done. I just want to get away. I can't operate at this level. And the way baseball is today, it's not what I remember. That could very well be. And by the way, he hasn't been in baseball for like 6 years or however long he's been since manager of the Cardinals. This guy's been grinding for 25 plus years just to get to this level. So yes, I think all of it could be true, Bernie.
No, I agree. That's well said. I just want to throw this in too. I've watched Schilt a lot in San Diego, like the late night games, especially because I really admire him as a manager. Also like to see how he's doing. And I have to tell you that I was struck by how many times he just boiled over.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those confrontations that he initiated with the Dodgers was like way over the top. He's challenging Dave Roberts to fight, and he's just, I mean, just going nuts. And then anybody who watches John Boy knows that, some of the abusive language he's directed at umpires, way over the top. You're like, whoa. And even if we go back, here's a little memory in time. I was taken aback, honestly, I was, when they beat the Braves in 2019, and Randy Arozarena was recording live on Facebook or something.
Instagram, yeah.
And Instagram, and Schilt is going just berserk. Like he's using every obscenity, the worst obscenities you can, and screaming about the Braves, and calling them names, and talking about, hey, we're going to go to the Nationals, and just every other word was like the worst curse word you can. And I'm like, where did this come from? It's like, dude, you just won the LDS. Be happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't have to declare war on everybody and start calling them names. And I wasn't surprised either when Randy Arozarena was soon traded after that. But anyway,
right.
But even at happy times, Schilt would just kind of lose it. He would snap. And I do think, I really do believe it does raise questions about his volatility. And that's why it might be tough for him to get a third job, because when you get fired once, I think baseball people look at it and say, well, these things happen. But then he gets a second job, a really good job, with a high payroll, a lot of good talent. And 2 years into it, it just kind of blows up again and he walks away. Seriously, if you were running a front office, wouldn't you have some serious questions about his temperament?
Yes. And at the same time, there was a love that I had and still have for him because he was so out in front. I mean, if he loved on you, he would say it and he meant it. And when he was pissed about something, he would say it and he meant it. And he was out there strong in his beliefs, and he's a baseball man. And maybe his time just came where it's time for him to get out of there. He knew it, and everybody else around him perhaps knew it as well. It might just be that time. We'll take a break. It is time for us to do that. But when we come back, we'll talk more about there's so much going on. I mean, football, hockey, college basketball starting up, believe it or not. I went to that secret scrimmage, by the way. Billikens, they look good. I'm just going to say it.
They
I don't know
better be.
how much I'm allowed to say after you see something that's
You
not
can
public.
say they're good.
But, well, I can say that. I just did.
Tom Ackerman.
Well,
Tom Ackerman scrimmage.
Let me tell you.
Top 25. Got the Billikens, what, about 6 or 7?
They're good. We'll take a break. A lot coming up here on KMOX's Gashouse Gang.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler, and let me ask you something. What if you could be 20 pounds lighter by Christmas? Well, that's what people are seeing with the $25,000 Operation Transformation Challenge from Supplement Superstores. It's 8 weeks, it's free, and it's happening right now. So don't sit back while everyone else gains weight this holiday season. This is your chance to get ahead. So when you join, you get everything you need to crush it. Custom meal and workout plans made for you. Diet-friendly recipes, including for the holidays. Weekly progress scans and accountability. Access to S2's private Facebook community. Weekly prizes and giveaways. 24/7 support from real trainers and nutrition experts. And here's the best part. The top transformation wins $10,000. And the new partner division where you sign up with a friend takes home $15,000. I already joined to keep myself on track through the holidays, and trust me, you don't want to wait until January to start. Spots are filling fast and signups close soon, so join Operation Transformation today at supplementsuperstores.com or stop by your local S2 before it's too late.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-979-3168. 800-979-3168. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-979-3168.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. As a local small business owner for the past 24 years, I always do my best to shop local and support our community. Recently, 2 of the largest tree contractors in the region have sold to out-of-town investment groups. This means that the new owners of these companies are not invested in quality, customer satisfaction, or safety, except for how it affects their bottom line. Timberline Professional Tree Care was founded in 2001 and is focused solely on giving you, the customer, the safest, highest quality product while providing the best customer service before, during, and after the job. I've poured my heart and soul into tree care for the past 24 years, and we aren't going anywhere. When it comes time to take care of your trees, I ask that you shop local and call me, Ben Barnett, at Timberline Professional Tree Care, 636-479-7475, or online at stltreecare.com.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brisati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com. Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Gashouse Gang on KMOX with Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji, Matt Pajeski, Frank Ladd, our producers. I'm Tom Ackerman. Aaron Dodson, boy, he jumps in there. I need daily updates on Bloom to make sure things are improving. All this offseason sounds like it's all internal changes and nothing on the major league roster. Aaron, you got to wait till the season's over. Nothing happens till after the World Series, dude. Okay. Players don't move until after the World Series is over.
I don't know, man. I want some results right now.
My goodness.
Show me some results.
I got a good laugh at one of the comments saying, like, where's old bruised knees Bernie?
Yeah.
Praising Chaim Bloom. Oh, you know what?
Knees
You're right. He started the job last week, and it's like, yeah, I got to do the St. Louis thing. Just automatically hate him and shred him.
Did you see what I said to Bernie? Yeah, man.
Yeah, right. You know, I hate that some of our brains don't work that way. where you gotta hate everything. I would prefer to give anybody new in a position like that with the Cardinals to give them, I don't know, a chance to freaking breathe for 5 minutes before we start ripping away.
Bloom told me that on Sunday that his kids will be tougher on him about the moves he makes than the fans. So don't worry about it. He said
I just love it.
He's used to the critics, but I did tell him, you know now that everything you do is going to be ripped or praised, and it'll be all in between. And he said that he welcomes it, Bernie. Like he understands it's a baseball town. He didn't care. He knows that this is what it's all about. He will take it. And I think that he's ready for the job at hand, which is to build this thing back into a power. If you do, you'll get crowds like that.
Sure.
Ozzie Smith, go crazy folks that you just, when you were welcome to that baseball crowd, he's going to experience that. At some point it'll happen, but I don't have a timeline on it. I can tell you though, that the wheels have been in motion for a while.
Well, first of all, yeah, I do laugh at this idea that somehow, well, got this Ivy League guy coming in here, and just wait till Cardinals fans, dig their fangs into him. He won't know what happened. Whoa! Are you all kidding me? The dude was born and raised in Philadelphia. Let's start there, okay? Number two, he went to the Red Sox. He lived in Boston, then went to the Red Sox job, and like from the day he was hired, the owner was out to sabotage him. And all the people left in the front office that weren't his guys were sabotaging him. And if you ask him about this today, which I have, he's like, look, I learned a lot there. I appreciated my time in Boston. So what? That broke him? Oh, big old tough St. Louis going to tear him to shreds. He'll never know what hit him. I mean, can we all just try to be normal human beings?
No.
Instead of like everything's got to be this raging protest on Twitter, about everything.
It is amazing.
The guy's getting ripped for not improving the major league team, and the offseason hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
He's getting ripped
by
some of these cooks.
Don't you
It's
think?
unbelievable.
Don't you think? There's a one-off. There's an Aaron every now, and I think Aaron is great. We love Aaron. But don't you think that most people get it?
I would hope so.
I think so. I think most Cardinals fans understand it's going to take a little bit here. I would hope, and maybe I'm wrong about that, but.
I don't know. I heard from some pretty prominent people in town, I have to say, over the last couple of weeks that were disappointed that Ollie wasn't let go. And I'm just saying that's not us, and they said it's nothing. I actually talked about this on the air. They said that it was nothing against Ollie necessarily, but the fact that they had to signal some sort of change to the fan base. And I said, well, that ain't it. I mean, if you've been listening to the show for the last year plus, the two have been working in tandem. Chaim Bloom could have fired him if he wanted to. Obviously, he sees something in him that they can work together on this project and that they can be successful with it. That there's no better manager for this situation than Ollie Marmol, according to the guy who's in charge.
It's because he understands that a rebuild's necessary, and he's already going to work on it in conjunction with the new front office. The players love him. The players play hard for him. He's one of the top major league managers in baseball in terms of running a bullpen, winning close games, nailing down late leads, because he's excellent at running the bullpen. And it's not his fault that the roster is barren of elite talent, both in starting pitching and lineup. You watch the postseason now. You see, like the LA Dodgers, their starting pitchers in this postseason have like a 1.90 ERA, 35% strikeout rate. Well, how come Ollie can't get that out of his guy? And then you look at all these other series, like the American League. You look at the Seattle series, for example. Boom, 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 boom. I think Seattle's already hit more home runs this postseason than the Cardinals did all of the regular season. I'm exaggerating for effect, but the Cardinals don't have the elements that it takes to win at a good level in Major League Baseball right now. They just don't.
We're going to take a quick break. Sheriff Alfred Montgomery in the city of St. Louis has been taken into federal custody. We are going to have a report from Sean Malone here momentarily.
They got my sheriff.
We'll have a weather forecast for you and get right back into the baseball discussion. Gashouse Gang on KMOX right after this.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman.
From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM. Your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM. KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Sunny and 79 in St. Louis. The high will be 85. The weather brought to you by Age Smart Community Resources.
1 in 4 employees is also a caregiver. The CARES program connects them with expert support, helping reduce stress, boost retention, and save your business money. Learn more at agesmart.org or call 618-222-2561, serving 7 counties in Southwest Illinois.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Marilyn Facer recommends 3-day kitchen and bath.
Working with Dave was an absolute delight. Once everything was scheduled, everything went perfect.
Have you ever had a remodel done before?
About 25 years ago, and it was a nightmare.
Was 3-day kitchen and bath on time?
There was no delays. Everything was on time. All the deadlines were met. Everything came at once.
Would you recommend 3-day kitchen and bath to your friends and neighbors?
I highly recommend them to anybody.
Top quality products and craftsmanship in 3 days or less. Call 3-day kitchen and bath. Always on time as promised at the price promised, and your job comes with complete satisfaction guarantee. No ifs, ands, or buts. Visit their website at 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-day kitchen and bath.
12:31 on the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. Let's go to KMOX's Sean Malone. St. Louis City Sheriff Alfred Montgomery has been taken into federal custody. Sean?
Yeah, a shocking moment in the courtroom as St. Louis City Sheriff Alfred Montgomery was escorted by U.S. Marshals out the back where he remains in their custody at this time. Here's how we got here. This bond revocation hearing was spawned by Thursday's superseding indictment in which Montgomery is alleged to have violated his bond by retaliating against 3 employees, where he's heard on a recorded phone call calling for their removal, complaining about them talking to the feds. Now, a key detail that came to light in court today, that phone call was made on a burner phone obtained by St. Louis City Sheriff Alfred Montgomery after he was indicted for the misdemeanor charge that this stems from. The judge said that he doesn't know how to stop that even with confinement, and that it's unlikely that any conditions would be abided by, pointing to how Montgomery was cagey with pretrial officers in the early stages of his bond, saying that he did not properly disclose the amount of firearms that he had, that he also was difficult when he failed his initial drug test, which was not a problem for the judge because he could have taken something before that initial drug test, or at least before his bond, but still came up with various excuses that the judge pointed to and said, this is a sign that he has not been easily cooperative. So with all of that, the judge saw no other remedy to prevent Sheriff Alfred Montgomery from potentially violating his bond further, but to hold him in custody. And that's where he is right now, in the custody of the U.S. Marshals. The number 2 in the sheriff's office, Yosef Yasharallah, is now operating the office. In the meantime, according to a spokesperson for the office, we're outside the federal courthouse right now awaiting further information from the attorneys who are still inside at this time, the attorneys for Sheriff Alfred Montgomery.
That's Sean Malone reporting live from downtown St. Louis. More in the news at the top of the hour. The Gashouse Gang continues right after this.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, it's Glover right now. Buy 2 windows and get 2 free. No interest for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Genesis of St. Charles, the number 1 Genesis dealer in the state of Missouri for 2025. Your trusted Genesis dealer is Genesis of St. Charles. You ever seen those Genesis vehicles out on the road? Boy, they look good, and they drive great. You can test drive one now. This month, and this is only this month, get 0% financing, 0% APR for up to 60 months on all new Genesis models in stock. On approved credit, see dealer for details. This offer absolutely ends October 31st, so you have until Halloween. Let Genesis of St. Charles take great care of you. They have a large selection of new Genesis models in stock ready for you to drive home today, and you'll experience that luxury service that they're known for at their state-of-the-art facility. It is fantastic. 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's just off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70 in St. Peters. Genesis of St. Charles. Or get started online, genesisofstcharles.com. That's genesisofstcharles.com.
Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
And the Lovin' Spoonful.
Do you believe in magic?
Saturday, October 25th at the Family Arena with the Hollies' greatest hits, starring Terry Sylvester. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon and the Lovin' Spoonful.
Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. With John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. Shooting Star.
Last chance to believe in yourself.
In Missouri. Saturday, November 15th, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Think back to the holiday season last year. You're surrounded by your family. It's been months since everyone has been together like this. Everyone is talking and catching up, sharing stories and laughing, and your grandson is real quick-witted. He cracks a joke and everyone seems to laugh. But you missed it. How does that make you feel? Do you start to disengage? Do you feel disconnected from the group? I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler, and I don't want this to happen to you this holiday season. Come visit Dr. Adam Voss and me at the Audiology Center for our Here for the Holidays event happening in the month of October. We're offering free hearing screenings, free earwax removals, free consultations, and a $500 coupon towards the latest hearing aids. Call us today to make an appointment for this special event through the month of October. 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Hey, Dave, this is Susan L. Ward, and my law firm and I want to wish you congratulations on your 25 years with the show. I am really, really glad that you left family law practice to me, and here's to 25 more for you on radio.
The countdown to kickoff starts here. Friday's focus on Mizzou, the Chiefs, and the NFL, only on KMOX.
Back on the Gashouse Gang, our visits with Bernie Miklas, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin dealer. Bernie Miklas, Chris Ranji, Tom Ackerman with you here this afternoon. Always great to be with you, Bernie. Let me throw this one to you. We're going to have Ozzie Smith coming up here at about 12:45 or so, as this is the 40th anniversary of the Go Crazy Folks home run. Yadier Molina once upon a time hit a big home run in the NLCS. As a matter of fact, he's had some big moments in his career. You'll always know number 4 in his connection with the Cardinals. Does he have a future in the Cardinals dugout, as he made it known that there is some discussion about him being a coach alongside Ollie?
Well, there's a really strong relationship there with Ollie Marmol and Yadier Molina. Same would apply to Albert Pujols and Ollie Marmol. Although Albert, it looks like, if he wants that job in LA, he'll be the Angels' next manager. I think it could work out. I mean, the thing I admire about Yadier Molina is that, look, he has nothing to prove to anybody, but he's got so much pride in everything he does. He believes it will help him to be a major league coach because he'll get a chance to watch how all managers work, including Marmol. He thinks Ollie Marmol's really good. And he appreciates that Ollie Marmol's answered a lot of his questions. Now, of course, the haters would say, well, why does he need Ollie Marmol to answer all his questions? Well, it's because Ali Marmol's not a catcher telling him this stuff, but he is a major league manager. And to his credit, Yadier believes anything I can learn through observation and with working closely with the major league manager, it'll only make me more prepared for the job. So he has a tremendous attitude about this. It'll also give him a chance, if he takes a job, if they work it out, to work on the other parts of managing that are important in the modern game. Being the face of the franchise, having to deal with the media in your face all the time, before games, after games, how to handle press conferences, and I know he's been improving. He wants better command of the English language, not that he doesn't have it, but in terms of public speaking. So, Ali, it's incredible the way Yadier Molina is a man of such pride that he can step back. One of the great catchers in the history of baseball, one of the great leaders in Major League Baseball. He thinks he can step back and say, I still got stuff to learn. And I just really admire that in him. But whether that's going to lead to a deal, who knows? Hey, maybe Albert Pujols wants to hire him if Pujols gets the job in LA, right? And how could he say no to Pujols, right?
Now, that would be something. Those two guys on the same coaching staff. And do you know that we would, if that did happen, we would never hear the end of it?
Of course not.
Oh, man, that'd be like some sort of gap in the space-time opening up. We'd be in, that's all anybody would talk about.
No kidding.
Right?
No,
Especially if things don't start well next year.
Yeah.
Let's say that does, and I doubt that's what's going to happen, but let's say it did. My God. Cardinals better be a whole lot better next year, because that's the only thing we would ever hear about.
Yeah, it wouldn't go over well.
No.
Even though this, it's a rebuild. You're not supposed to win right away, but forget the reality of that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's something that this team hasn't been through, so fans are going to have to adjust. But so far, so good, I think, on Bloom's part in being open and transparent and explaining what's going on. Bernie, we would like you to please explain the greatness of Saliga Heating and Cooling, our sponsor today.
Absolutely. My pleasure. This Daikin Comfort dealer has been taking care of St. Louis families continuously, the Saligas, since 1927, which is amazing. But we know all about that in the Miklas home. We've been a Saliga family for 17 years. I can tell you this with absolute purity of heart. We have relied on them because we appreciate their honesty, their integrity, their knowledge, their professionalism, their prompt service. They don't try to upsell us, never try to hustle us, never try to talk us into something expensive. It's the opposite way with Saliga. They come to our home and inspect something. They look for the cheapest, least expensive option possible. Who does that? Well, Saliga does that because they want your business and your trust and your loyalty. And they feel Saliga, Dan Saliga, who owns and operates Family Biz Now, he believes it's up to him to prove himself to you every time you call Saliga for help. And that's increasingly rare, and it's a wonderful thing when you're not sure who to call, when you can count on Saliga's integrity like that. And they're just really, really good. One other thing before I go, check out their Priority Club. We're a member of the Priority Club. It's a maintenance plan. It's going to save you money by extending the life of your current equipment, and you'll know everything's set all year round in your heating and cooling. It's great stuff. It's Saliga Heating and Cooling. To find out more information, go SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. For more information, KMOX.com/events. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Ozzie hangs over the plate. He's not the long ball threat from the left side. Pops it up. That'll be foul ball and out of play. Strike one to Ozzie. Open day in the American League playoffs. They'll play at Toronto tomorrow night. They play Ozzie to the opposite field. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop foul, strike two. And hard to handle the smoking Tom Niedenfuhr.
He's trying to pull the ball.
Niedenfuhr is 6'5", 225. Big man from the North Country, Minnesota. First baseman and the third baseman guard the lines. Ozzie with one out. Took a ball just outside. Cardinals have left 10 men on, and they left a lot of men on early. Had a runner at third, nobody out in the first and didn't score. Second and third, one out in the second and didn't score. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
And that they did 40 years ago today. Game 5 of the 1985 NLCS. The Cardinals win it over the Dodgers on a home run by Ozzie Smith. And Ozzie joins us now, KMOX on the Gashouse Gang. Ozzie, it is great to have you. There's the entire at-bat for you on KMOX that day, October 14th. What's it like to hear that?
Well, I tell you, as the years go on, you forget some of the details. And things happen so quickly. The Dodgers had always tried to get me out inside, Tom, and I figured they were not going to change that. And as Jack said in the broadcast there, that I wasn't a threat from the left-hand side. But in 1985, things had kind of come together for me from an offensive standpoint. I'd gotten a little stronger. I'd worked with Mackie Shilstone and gotten a little stronger. So, I'd learned to pull the ball. And so I think Mike Shannon mentioned it there in the broadcast that I was trying to pull the ball, and I certainly was, because I knew they were coming inside, and I had learned how to pull the ball, and I was trying to get myself in scoring position. And, he supplied the power, I supplied the technique, and, and history was made. I was just lucky that Jack was was on the mic at that particular time and made the call that even more exciting.
It was amazing. Here's a little bit more of Jack. So he let the crowd go for a good minute and a half and just let the roar come in. Here's how it sounded.
Now you go to a lot of ball games before you see the likes of this one. The crowd, and they're all here. I think some folks have come into the park since the ball was hit just barely over the right field fence. Right field umpire hustled out there, gave the home run call. It hit one of those concrete pillars just beyond the fence and came back onto the field. In fact, the Dodgers tried to make a tag on Smith as he was happily circling the bases with a winning run in this 3-2 victory. 16-5 hits. Niedenfuhr had retired Willie McGee. And then Ozzie came up, and twice he swung from the heels. And I was thinking, why is he trying to hit the ball out of the park? He can't do it. He had no home runs from the left side this year, and I think that that's the first major league left-handed home run that he has ever hit. I'll be darned if against Niedenfuhr, a very hard thrower. Here he comes. No, I thought that's the bat boy. Get back in there, kid. I thought Smith was coming out to take a bow. That's the first home run ever left-handed for Ozzie Smith. That's been substantiated now as it just barely got over the fence and right. And he was behind on the count when he smacked it. And the Cardinals, as a result, have the lead over the Dodgers 3-2. And have to win one more to get to the World Series. It was a memorable clout, whether you were watching or listening. It was really something. These fans are still here on their feet. There he is. He started the game with a somersault, and he ended it with a home run. We'll have the totals in a moment.
Now that has it all right there. You got Jack, you got the Ozzie chant, you got the heat is on playing in the background. That's some good stuff right there. How about that?
That was very memorable, and it's nice to go back and listen to that. You know, it brings a smile to my face, you know, because that was such a special moment for all of us that are Cardinal baseball fans, Tom, and for anybody who has had the pleasure of enjoying or listening to Jack Buck through the years. It's nice to be able to go back and listen to him on that broadcast as well.
It's pretty special. And two guys who knew you very well, Jack Buck and Mike Shannon, are both stunned. I mean, you can hear them. They can't believe what was happening here, that you're trying to hit it out of the park. It seemed like trying to pull it at least, and you did, and you hit it out. And I don't know if they knew this. How many people knew this, Ozzie, that you had a torn rotator cuff? Anybody?
You know, probably my teammates did, but you know, here again, it was all about finding a way to still get it done, you know, and I think that was kind of the mark of some of the teams that we had. We had guys that, and I say this all the time, Tom, if you tell me a player that says, hey, coach, I'm 100%, that's somebody who's not giving 100. There was never any day that you go out there and you're an everyday player that you are 100%. You just got to figure out a way that day to make it happen. And, you know, we took a lot of pride in that. And I knew that for my teammates, my being there at 60 or 70% was probably going to be better than somebody else at 100 from a confidence standpoint. And especially from a pitching staff, as far as the pitching staff goes.
And you know what else I love about it is it opens up the conversation about you as a hitter, because we all know about your 13 gold gloves and the greatest shortstop of all time, but maybe people need to be reminded that you had 2,460 hits in your career, Ozzie. You took great pride in that.
I did. You know, when I came here, when I came to the big leagues, I had no real formal teaching as far as hitting was concerned. I could put the ball in play. I ran well, you know, so those two things really kind of got me. But I continue to work. I put a batting cage in my basement. I spent countless hours, as I did from a fielding standpoint. I took ground balls and stuff every day. But I think in my generation of players, we wanted to be well-rounded. And so I was no different as far as I was concerned, and I felt that there was no reason that I couldn't be a better offensive player with my hand and eye coordination. And It was one of the reasons that I went and visited Mackie Shilstone. I wanted to get a little bit stronger, not necessarily to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but to back the defense up. You know, I could hit a line drive the same distance as a big guy, but the likelihood of his falling in was going to be greater because the defense was back, you know. So it's one of those things that I think that over the years, I not only to prove to other people, but to prove to myself that I was a better offensive player than I was being given credit for. And even to today, you know, you'll hear people say that, you know, it wasn't that good an offensive player. And you know, that's people's opinion, but I feel that I worked myself into a position to where when I retired in 1996, you know, I felt that I had accomplished some things that I set out to accomplish, and I was a much better rounded player in 1996 than I was in 1982.
One of the greatest Cardinals teams of all time, 1985, Ozzie hitting that home run in Game 5 40 years ago today, and it was great to hear that curtain call too. That was had to have been just an incredible moment of elation to hear those fans. As the final thing for you, Ozzie, is your relationship with the fans. You love them dearly. I know that.
Oh yeah, it's been very, very special from the time I got here, and you know, even in the years where the team wasn't very good, we didn't win. There were a couple of years in there that things weren't very good, but the support was always there, because I think the fans realized that though we may not have been winning, we were giving what we had that particular day, and that was the mark of a lot of Whitey Herzog teams. They continue to excite and perform even in some of our darkest times, and it's what's endeared people to Cardinal baseball.
Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith, I know it's a big day. I'm certain you're getting a lot of calls. Thank you for making time for us on this anniversary date.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Ozzie Smith with us. It's the Gashouse Gang. Thanks for joining us on KMOX.
Never predictable, always entertaining. Dave